Good morning, sir.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Good morning. Yeah, so today we are going to discuss about SQL, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. Sayed.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So we'll discuss SQL. Once SQL is done, after learning SQL, we will also discuss, what is database testing and how we do that, ma'am. What is database testing? How to do DB testing? The checklist, right? Basically what all we have to test. Test what all we have to test in DB. So this we will discuss. Okay, hope you understand. So first we will learn SQL. We learn all the learn SQL. SQL. Basically we should learn SQL queries. We have to learn SQL.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, we have to learn SQL queries. After learning SQL queries, then we will discuss database testing, like how to do database testing. And okay, in database testing, what all we have to test. So when you are doing functional testing of a web page, usually when we are doing functional testing of web application, we have some checklist, right? We have to do functional testing. We have to do some positive testing. We have to do negative testing. Okay, we have to test the GUI. Like that, we have some checklist, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
if we are doing
Yes, sir.
compatibility testing, and different browsers. So you have some checklist, right? What all you have to test. Like that. So when we do database testing, what is the checklist? What all we have to do? Testing. These things we will discuss later. Okay. So first we will concentrate on SQL, right? SQL queries. And then we will discuss this later. So hope this is understood what we are going to learn in this training.
Yes, sir.
This
Yes,
session.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now all of you know, I think you might have come across this many times, but let me conclude it once again. Yeah. But any software application you take, how many layers we have? If you take any software
3 layers.
yeah, we have how many layers? 3 layers, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the user interface layer, and this is the backend database layer, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is called as UI layer, right? This is UI, which we call
Yes.
user interface. Okay. Now this is database. Okay. Okay, so this is the user interface and this is the database. No? Okay. Now user interface, if you take any software, right? For example, if I take a Flipkart.com, any website, any application, if you take, this is the UI. This is called as user interface, UI, where
Yes,
the
sir.
user interact with the website. Okay, as a user, I'm interacting with the website. This is the UI, like that. Now, if you take any, any website, like, banking applications you take. Now, there is a user interface where employee and cashier will be interacting with the software. Now, there is a screen, right? When a customer want to do some deposit or withdraw some amount, so there is a screen, right, where we will enter our account number, the amount to be done, the transaction type of account. So there is a screen where the user will interact. So there is a screen where the user will interact. So this is called as user interface. Right now, if I take a Flipkart website, now this is a screen what I'm interacting. But if I try to log in, or if I try to register my user details, Where is my user registration details are stored?
In database.
Database.
User registration details are stored in the, all information should be stored somewhere, right? I think all of you know that.
Yes.
Now, if I have created a user account in this website, my user details, my profile should be stored somewhere. It should be saved somewhere. Okay.
Yes.
Next, if I place any products, if I purchase any products, I can go back and track. I can go back and track, right? What are the orders I have placed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is the status of the order? So I can track all the orders what I have placed. So all this information also should be stored somewhere. Next.
Yes, sir.
If you see these products which are displayed here, this product information should be stored somewhere. Suppose I search for mobiles. Now, what are the mobile products? What are the mobile products? What is the price of the product? What is the details of the product? All this information should be stored somewhere. Because this website, listen, this website is getting this information, getting the information and displaying on this screen. Where this information is coming from? Okay, where this product information is coming from? Where the user details are coming from? Where the product information, whatever orders you place, where all the orders are stored. So all this information will be there in the database. So database is a place to store the data, right?
Sir.
Yeah, database is a place to store the data, like all like user details, profile, or maybe if it is a e-commerce application. Example, I'm saying if it is a e-commerce application, like all the products, orders, customer details. Okay, like everything, right? All the information will be stored in the database. So what is database is used for? Database is a software system. What is database here? Database is a
Software
software system to store the
details.
to store the data. Okay, if you take a banking application, if you take a banking application, your details are stored, right? Your account information, your name, your email ID, your phone number, all customers' details. Plus whatever financial transactions you are doing in the bank, right? You are doing deposits, you are doing fund transfers, whatever, all the statement will be there, right? As per your account information.
Yes, sir.
Like that, if you take a bank, there are some lakhs of customers are there, right? In a bank, all their customers' information should be stored. Whatever financial transactions done by each customer, every information should be stored in the banking system. So where all the details are stored? All the details are stored in the database. Okay. Or even you take any website, you take any application, app, you take Zomato, you take. Okay, today you open the Zomato and you place an order. Where is your order details are stored in that software? In a database system, right? So they maintain a database in the backend. So all the data will be stored in the database, right? All your profiles, right? Even you take a, for example, flight ticket booking application. You book a flight or you do the transaction. All that, one second.
छुबो नहीं किया डाटा तक से उठे पर डाटा था देखबे के एटीएम से तल खाई थी कि हम सवेरे उठे और काम चला रहा था
Hello.
Sir.
Yeah. So if you take a flight reservation application, if you book a flight or flight information, where all these details are stored? Okay, if you go to a website, make my trip, makemytrip.com, and if you get the flight details, where these details of all the flights are coming from? Yeah, Chapan, please. Yeah. So if I search for the flights from this city to this city, yeah, if I search for the flights or if we book the flight ticket, where is all this information is stored?
Database.
So yes, so every software application to store all this information, right? Like But this data is coming, like, what is the flight details are available, what is the date of, the flight timings, departure time, the price, all this information is coming from a database. Okay. So in every software system, so what is database? Database is a software system to store the data. How the data is stored in the database software? In any database, data is stored in tables. In what format?
Table format.
Yeah, tables format. Now, how does the table looks like? Table looks like a row of columns, right? Okay. If one of the application, if you take a banking software, how is the customer details are stored? No, it is stored as like customer ID, account number, customer name. Okay, date of account open date, right? Account open date. Okay, what is your phone number? What is your email ID? What is your PAN number? What is your other number, identification number? What is your address? Okay, like that, ma. What is your, all the details will be stored, ma. Right. So how is the
Yes, sir.
data? All the data is stored in what format? Like a tabular format.
Tables
right?
and rows.
Yeah, if I take these are all columns. If I take an example.
సరే కన్నయ్య జరువురా నేను విన్నాయి కదా.
Yeah. So if I take these are all columns like customer ID, account number, customer name, account open date, phone, email, okay, PAN number, Aadhaar number, or address, communication address, permanent address, whatever, your father name, like, account details, they maintain all your as per the KYC standards, right? Yeah. So if I take these are all columns, now there is a all customers information. How is the customer information stored here? If I take customer ID, his account number ID is 2356, some account like this. No, 0110 something like 23 something like account ID. Customer name of the customer. Okay, some customer name. Okay, account open date, some date of account opened, phone number. So like that, if you take all these details, now this is what you call a, what is this called? These are called rows. Okay, this is called as a row. And customer ID, account number, customer name,
Columns.
open date, these are all called as columns. Now the terminology, if I take this is a table, this is entire is a table. Okay, now what is this customer ID? Customer ID, account number, customer name, account open date, phone, email ID, all these things. These are called as, okay, these are called as columns, or they are called as fields. Okay, they are called as columns or they are called as fields. Now, whereas if you take one customer record, if I take this one, or if I take another customer record, these things, these are called as rows, or they are called as record. They are called as a row, or they are also called as a record. Okay, this is one customer record, or a second customer record, third customer record. Okay, so this is called as rows or records, right? Row or record. This is called columns or fields like this. Okay, so now in any software system, whatever softwares you are seeing, but even you go to some restaurant and you are doing some booking, or a movie ticket you are booking, where is your information stored? Your information is stored in the database, right? Like how many bookings are done, what are the cancellations done, everything, right? All the financial information will be stored in the database. Okay, so because the data is very, very important for a business. Data is very important for the business, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you take a bank application, if no information is stored, then how does the bank can track? How does that what is the amount you are having in your account? What is the fund transfers you did? How much credit is done into your account? Your details has to be there in the database, right? Okay.
Yes.
Or you go to a supermarket. Let's take any like Reliance, or you take DMart. You go to the supermarket. You do some purchasing of products. Now, if the information is not stored in the database, now how do their their business point of view, how do they can track? how they can track in each store, in each DMart store, how much business they have done, how much inventory stock is there. How do it becomes very difficult, right? Without a data in the system.
Yes, sir.
We can't operate a system, first of all, without data, right? So for every software system, remember, data is very, very important. Database is very, very important. Now, remember one more thing. If you are working on an application, listen carefully, when you are working on an application, suppose this application, there is a bug, there is some error is there. Sir, some functionality not working correctly. Some functionality not working correctly. Okay, some option is showing some wrong information. No problem. We can raise as a bug and developers, right? The developers can fix that bug. Maybe that business might have affected, maybe for some time. The business might have affected for some time, but developers can fix that issue, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Developers can fix that issue, but business might have affected sometime. But if there is some wrong information in the database, wrong data is stored in the database, that leads to the financial impact of the business. Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
For example, you take a DMart, a small example, if you take a DMart itself, you take for example, DMart itself. Now, there are so many stores, right, throughout India.
Sir.
Okay.
Yes,
In some, if there is a software bug and if the inventory stock is showing some wrong inventory stock, but how does the corporate, right, who is there in Mumbai, the corporate office which is in Mumbai, they are tracking all the stores in India, right?
Yes, sir.
And they are analyzing, right, which store is doing how much business and which store is having how much stock.
Sorry for joining.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Are you understanding?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
where
sir,
is the
understood.
DMart corporate office? It is there in the Mumbai, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
now they will be tracking, right, all the business in every store.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
for example, in each store, how much business they have done, how much sales they have done, how much stock is available. Suppose in one of the store, if sales is not happening properly, these people will analyze and try to do, right, how to promote the business or how to improve the sales of that product. How do they analyze? There is some sales people are, management people who are in the corporate office and analyzing what products, how much offers they have to do, how to improve the business. How they will analyze the business based on the information available in every store information only, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma. So if some data is, some stock is showing inventory wrong or some sales data is showing some wrong data, then that leads to the business impact, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Or okay, but for example, in a banking application, yesterday you deposited some amount. Okay, yesterday it was showing, but today morning when you open your account, no, yesterday night, the database, they did some maintenance. The database, they do some maintenance, right? If any, some deleting some unnecessary data, they are doing some refreshing. So they are doing some maintenance.
Yes.
Next day morning, when you open your account and see, actually, a small example, your account have 1 lakh balance yesterday, but today morning when you see it is showing only 10,000.
Yes, sir.
What will you do? You will be definitely worried, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So you go to the bank and complain. Sir, yesterday I deposited 1 lakh. It was there 1 lakh, but today it is showing only 10,000 balance. Bank people are saying, no, sir, you think you check, you might have transferred to somebody, or have you withdrawn, or have you given some details to anybody to take the money? They are asking you reverse questions, but definitely you will be feel narrow or bad, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if these type of things are happening with that bank, no, what will you do? You do a complaint, and will you open the account in that bank, or you close that from that bank and go to a different bank? Definitely, right? So that will impact the business, or it's a different huge loss, right? Or otherwise, let's say yesterday you deposited 1 lakh, but today it is showing 2 lakhs in your account. Right, you will be very happy, but bank is in loss, right?
Yes.
So if some kind of data is something doing some wrong, data is getting updated in the system, that leads to the financial loss. Yes or not?
Sir.
That's what I'm saying. Application UI, if there is an issue, something is not working properly, that's fine. Maybe sometime business will affect, but this not make a loss for the company. But data is something going wrong means it's a loss to the company, right? Because it's all financial information, right? Which is there in the database.
Yes, sir.
Yes, all the sales or inventory or stock or products or whatever, right? All the data is very, very important for the business. Okay,
Yes, sir.
right. So now this is understood my basic thing. So when you take any software application, this is a user interface, and all the data will be stored in the all the data will be stored in the database. Okay, all the data will be stored in the database. In database, data how it is stored in the form of tables. So table has columns and rows. Okay, right. Now, what are the different database products which are available in the market? Okay, what are the different database softwares available? So I think you might have heard,
Oracle,
Oracle.
MySQL.
So Microsoft SQL Server,
Yes, sir.
SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, MS Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, so then you have other database like MySQL.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like MongoDB.
Yes, sir. Oracle.
Oracle is there. Okay, so then you have
Informatica.
IBM DB2. This is IBM product, IBM software product DB2. So Ingress.
Amazon Web Service.
Okay. Okay, so web service is different, database is different. Okay, so Oracle DB, so what you call MS SQL Server, MySQL, MongoDB. Okay, like that you have different databases, ma. So large, large DB. Okay, so like that, NoSQL. So like that you have so many database software products which are available in the market, ma. Postgres, Ingress, like that. These are all different database products. I think all of you might have heard all these names, right? Everyone, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server,
Yes, sir.
MongoDB, some name you might have heard, right? So these are all different database products. Okay, now all these database products, how is the data stored? Data is stored in the form of tables.
Tables.
Okay, data is stored in the form of tables. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So if you take any database just for you, if you see the screen, yeah, anything MS. Anywhere? Yeah. If you see this image, how is the database? It is stored in the system. Yeah, how do you see? These are all order date, order ID, something, product ID. It is stored in a tabular format.
Yes, sir. In the form of table.
The form of tables it is showing, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So like that, if you take a backend database system, so these are all table names, and each table there are the data how it is stored in the form of tabular format like this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I can show you MySQL I have in my system. If I open MySQL, 1 minute. Yeah. So if I open MySQL in my system, yeah, if I take any, yeah. So if I take any database, so how is the data? It is stored as
Columns and rows.
yeah. I think there is no data right now. This is empty table. Emma, this is empty table, but you see there is address ID, customer ID, first name, last name, company, address 1, address 2, city, postal code. These are all the columns, ma.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, these are all the columns. But right now there is no any records in this. It's an empty table. But if you see, these are all the columns and where we can have data stored in the table. Now you see, I think you see this particular table has records. What are the columns it has? Country ID, name,
Name.
ISO code 3, address format, like that. These are all the columns and these are all the rows, right?
Yes,
Country ID 1 and name of the country. Okay, like that. This is all stored in a tabular format backend.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in any database system, data is stored in the form of, rows
Yeah.
and columns.
Columns.
Okay. Fine. So now this introduction is understood, all of you. This basic introduction, what is database system? So
Yes,
what you
sir.
see generally in a website, what you see is a user interface, but the backend is a system where the data is stored. Now data is stored in the form of tables, like table has rows and columns. Okay. Now, when you are doing testing if you want to test a database, if you want to test the data in the database, if you want to, to test the data in the database. Okay, to test the data in the database. So what is the knowledge you should have? Okay, you should know how to write. Yeah, you should be able to connect to database. Yeah, first you have to connect to database. So these details you can get from developers. No? Yeah, this you can get details from developers, right? Yeah, because you need the, you need the what you call user ID, password. You need the details, right? User ID, password, and the server to connect. Okay, so you should get these details from. You can get these details from developers. Okay, what is user ID? What is the password? Where is the server address, right? Server address, right? Server address to connect.
Yes,
These details you can get from developers. So once you get this from developers, okay, so to test the data in database, first you need to connect to database. What I'm saying first? Yeah, connect to database. So once you connect to database, so you should be able to write. Okay, you should be able to write SQL queries. Okay, to fetch the data from database. Yeah, then you can verify, right? Then we can verify. Okay, if you are able to see the data in the tables, then you can verify, right? The data is correct or not. Is there any incorrect data? You can verify. But for this, what is the knowledge you should have? For this, what is the knowledge you should have? You should know how to write
SQL queries. SQL queries.
Okay, now you should learn. Okay, you should learn. So how to write? Learn how to write SQL. So this you should learn. No? So as I told you, first we learn how to write SQL queries. So once we learn how to write SQL queries, then we will talk about database testing, how to do, what is all we have to test. This we will discuss. So first, as part of technical subject, first we learn how to write SQL queries. Okay. So before continuing writing SQL queries, any questions you have, ma?